Welcome to Scundered, the podcast about embarrassing stories. My guest today is the wonderful David Doherty-Jebb.
Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Teresa. I'm so glad to be here. This is class.
I'm delighted. I had to change my outfit now because David has arrived in this gorgeous t-shirt and it was too similar to mine. So I had to go and change.
I was gutted that you did. I wish you'd kept it because we could have been like no vicarious redheads.
I know. Well, mine was Bette Midler, who
Yes.
I grew up wanting to be. Like, absolute. And I didn't know she was kind of like a gay icon and or anything like that. I was drawn to her.
She started off her career in the bathhouses of New York.
Yes.
So basically, we were having which we'll get to later on, we were getting into like shared experiences and talking about, as anybody knows, like the Yumbo Center in Gran Canaria, which we'll be getting into if you have. Yes, we do.
For different reasons.
But it basically, she was going around singing to these guys all...
That's where I should have started my. That's where I should have taken my act.
Hindsight is 20. We do. I don't know. Whenever you become monogamous, you lose interest. But did we have like a sauna in Belfast? We had a gay sauna in Belfast.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
Is it still open? No. Does it need an act? Let's just open a new one.
Does it not? I think. You know what I mean? You can only be given hand jobs for so long that you we rest and maybe
need a bit of light relief,
musical accompaniment to your blowjobs.
me singing songs about diets and stuff like that in the background.
Something has changed within me, and
So yes, we were talking about Gran Canaria, but first of all, David, you are from Lurgan.
I am.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
But you're a stand-up comedian and you're an excellent host.
Oh,
you're an
thank
MC.
you so much. Yes.
So, which do you prefer?
Oh, both. Oh, no. Which is my Sophie's choice?
Yes, you can't choose.
Which one of my kids am I going to leave in Poland? Both. I love both. I love telling, like yourself. Do you know what I mean? I love like bringing people into that story and entertaining them. But then I love the MC and the crowd work because then you're kind of flipping the script and going into their stories and seeing what you can pull out from there.
Yes.
I love crowd work's my favourite.
You're brilliant at it because not everybody can do it. And I've seen a lot of people, including myself, try to do it and fall flat on their arses.
I don't believe that.
You are, no, I'm terrible. I've said this before, like whenever I try and do crowd work, I end up just like going for the jug, like really too soon, going really nasty. And I said this on another podcast. There was this poor woman. I'm going to repeat myself now, but there was this poor woman talking about, I asked her what sort of dog she had. She said a Jack Russell. And I went, I bet he's a wee shit. And she was like, no, I love him. And I said, show me a photo of him and I'll spit on it. And then I had to stop. I was like, what has happened?
It was like, you're that bit of you that disassociates very slightly when you're on stage. Just go and stop it.
Yes. And sometimes when I panic, I just go, like I remember doing, this was a terrible gig I had to do years ago. And it was a comedy night upstairs in the Erigal. Now, that's usually a really good night. It's nothing to do with the gig. It just so happened there was an Ulster rugby match on. That it had gone into extra time or whatever it was. So the bar manager had said he'd set up the upstairs with a big screen for them to watch this rugby match. And it had run on and he said, I'm just going to let them all stay for the comedy, right? They don't have to pay in. They're going to stay. And I was like, oh my God.
What a great idea.
Yes.
Because this is what they want is during their extra time, they want
to be distracted.
Yeah.
So they were all sat like all wearing the rugby gear, all with their backs to the stage. The match had finished and then we all had to get up. This was Neil Duggan was hosting at the time and he was all like, right, okay, time for comedy. And they're all like, no, it isn't. We're going to sit here and talk amongst ourselves. So it was rough. And then I had no hope. I got up and I was all like, you know, whenever you get cankles, right? He's like, man, just like, the hell are you on about? So they were so disinterested in all my stuff. And I was like, this is a wee song about why I'm not dieting anymore. And they were like, well, you need to. And I was like, oh, that's not nice. So anyway, I started singing my song. And then one guy turned and looked at me and I locked eyes with him and I went, this is a song about your mother. And then started like really laid into him about his mother and he was just like, what the fuck's her problem?
I never said nothing to you, love.
It just wasn't even funny. Like people were like, you're just angry, stop it. So no, I appreciate when I see somebody handle a crowd well and you know, can make it funny for everybody, including them.
But yes, I have had those like baptisms by fire where like I have let myself get angry and told people to fuck off, and then but then it ruins the whole thing, and it's my fault.
I know.
Nobody remembers that they were being an idiot. They go like this here, and then he told him to fuck off.
Yeah, that's right. Because once you sense that the MC is angry or the act is angry, you've lost. Because you have to. That's you losing control, isn't it? You have to be like, I'm totally fine.
They're on your side as long as you're funny.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you start being angry, they're like, actually no.
Yeah.
Because he called you a specky bastard. He's right.
You'll start chatting specky bastard. Yeah.
He's right.
I actually did. Now, the only time I don't regret this is I threw somebody out of a gig because there's a line, all right? So there's heckling and there's kind of...
I love a good heckle. See if it's witty.
Yeah.
I'll give it a round of applause. I'll be like, that was good.
Yeah.
I love a good heckle. I love something to work with.
Yes.
Love it.
No, but there's a line, isn't there, when somebody gets, if it gets like threatening or, so it got very dark. But the worst part about this was there was a guy at the front and he wasn't saying anything particularly bad, but he was just chatty, right? So I was like, because he was sort of chatty, I said something like, or I can't even remember what I said. It wasn't funny, but I addressed it anyway when I should have just kept going. And then because I'd sort of singled him out, he was really annoyed, right?
Oh, he got us.
So then, when the body language changes, he sort of got back in his chair and locked eyes with me and stared at me. And I said something like, Are you okay? Are you okay? Is this the first time you've spoken to a woman in real life? And he didn't like that, right? So that, there's a darkness comes across. So, and so I had shamed him and I had humiliated him in front of us.
You were a woman who had shamed him in public.
Absolutely. And I don't, So
the scold's collar right round.
Yes. So anyway, he then said, and then I tried to sort of lighten it again. I was like, no, don't you worry. I'm not, there's a piano between me and you. I can't get anywhere near you. I'm not going to come near you. And then he said to me something like, you need to watch out, right? And it's, do you know the way I know when someone's joking, right?
No,
and
100%.
When I looked at him, something sort of flipped in my stomach and he was staring at me, like steely-eyed staring.
He means this.
You need to watch out. And I was like, no. And I came out completely out of character and went, no, sorry, he needs to go. And nobody else in the room had heard what he'd said. They just thought they were like, she really cannot do crowd work.
She's such a diva.
She's like, oh, you looked me straight in the eye. He needs to go. And I was like, you need to go. And he was so like shocked. He really was shocked. He was like, what? And I was like, out, get him out, right? And so
because you could feel the fear coming up, going like this here.
No, seriously. And then, so two of the other male comedians at the back, they came up and they were like, come on, mate, don't make it any worse for yourself. He stood up and he got up on the stage, right?
Oh, and he's like, fear.
This is supposed to be a comedy show. And everybody was like, get out. Like the whole audience like, just get out. And it was only when I saw him stand up, he's so young. Like he's probably too young to even be in the bar.
I would see your ID.
Yeah, but he was and he suddenly didn't seem threatening at all. But at the same time, I was like, no, I'm not having it.
No.
It wasn't funny. It crossed a line.
Well, you're also really vulnerable because like we're on stage and we're, especially, and chatting is a thing because I guess your last week's guest,
yes,
Dick Van Dyke,
yes,
aka Gemma, gorgeous Gemma Hutton, who is beautiful, but then as Dick Van Dyke confuses my
she was just talking about this. Yes.
Because he does this, and as soon as we talk about it, okay, so I call him my work husband because we share the MC sort of like duties at Cabaret Supper Club, and so like you're up on stage, and like whenever we're doing it, like sometimes people are still eating and they're chatting away, but once it gets to a certain point, and there's maybe stuff we want to get across, like ground rules, things that like don't jump up on stage and touch the burlesque dancers. Wee things like, but putting that across in a kind of
light-hearted way.
Like making a wee joke. I think my rule is always, if you want to get up on stage, you can audition like the fucking rest of us. Otherwise, sit your ass down and wait. Enjoy yourselves out there. But then there's there's always like this person, and then I'll just go, oh right, sorry, love, is this not about you for a wee second? And I just try to, but keep it all lighthearted.
Yes.
But like it can be you're there, and I imagine as well because I don't have any musical component, but so then if you're then also trying to concentrate on that, I imagine that to be so distracting. And and if you're, because I do I get the anger. I get the anger.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to just go, right, David, wrap this up and get off stage because you're going to ruin it. Because there's one girl, and I was like, and she was just, she just would not shut up. And then because I do a thing like, where are you all from and what's all going on and where you, and she put her hand up and she was like, could you get the wait staff to bring me some fucking ice? And
oh my God.
And I was like,
they'll be right over to you, love.
Right over there. The spit will be free.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh my God.
That's not my job, sweetheart. But while we're at it, let's give our wait staff a round of applause for looking after you. You know, just getting them all. Because then, but we had to one point I did have to go, now, sweetheart, if you're not enjoying yourself, I can explain to you how the door works.
But even the way you're saying that's brilliant. I'd be like, get the fuck out. No, to try and lighten it, when that guy got up on stage and wouldn't leave, I was so conscious of the room was heavy. Like people were all just sat there like, oh my God. So I started playing him off. I was like, I'll give you some theme music. So I was like,
exit music.
And so I played as he left, and then everyone was like clapping along. So I was like, so at least then everybody kind of came back a wee bit. You got rid of him and got the room back, because it can be the worst. Like I remember like a learning curve. I used to do a wee night upstairs in the Duke of York. Ages ago. I don't think you ever booked me.
You were too famous, Teresa. Sure. I think Fraser came, but I don't think we ever got you.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But it was like you walked away with your whole fiver for your petrol money. Do you know what I mean? Completely the richer.
Yes.
And it was like that. So this guy came in, and it was like a big, huge we were like class. Like this came in, and there's like a big, like 8 of them all came in together, and like. Do you know, like a £2 a head? That was loads. As they came in, and he came in and he sat purposefully with his back to the stage.
Oh God, yeah.
And I was like, wait, come on, like, now, son, you're not going to say much with your back to the stage. And then he started to get and then he was like, how much do you earn? Getting into the way that's the
my God.
Big swinging dick in the shower.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how much do you earn? And I was like, £20 a gig. Well, I'm going this way. I'm like, yo, what do you think of that there? And he was going, and I was like, what's wrong, son? Because I went to him, I was like, well, how can I
hurt you?
How hurt you? And he was like, my wife just left me. And I was like, how could I not? I should have just let him. I should have just left him. Do you know, sometimes you don't, like a toddler, don't reward bad behaviour with attention. I was like, I shouldn't have said that. And then every time I said something, he was like, he's fucking annoying me. And I just had to go, do you know what? You're annoying me. You're annoying the shit clean out of me. And I wish you'd fuck off. But I'm doing my best, all right?
And I can't put it in a pretty bow for you.
I can't do this.
I'm just being honest.
And I had to get him kicked out. No.
Yeah.
I had to go downstairs and like the guy at the time, I'm not sure, anyone who works in Duke of York, Paul, reach out if it's still you. If it's still you, I don't want to kill you off. But he came, and they had to get rid of him.
Yeah.
But then he went, so like all that, and it was horrendous. It was awful. The night never recovered.
Yeah.
It was awful. Do you know, and I was like, no heart in your throat.
It is awful.
Awful. And then he went away and he wrote a review.
Oh, for frig's sake.
3 stars. Not even a 1 star. I said, I'll take it. I will take it. 3 stars.
Read like a 5.
Do you know what I mean? Angelo Vittorio. What do you call him? Angelo Vittorio. Vittorio Angeloni. He got like a 3-star review in The Guardian for his Edinburgh show last year. I'll fucking take it. 3 stars. That's class. Do you know what I mean?
Does he understand how the starring rating works?
I know it's like 3. Is it like 3? Is that 3 stars of anger?
Yes,
or did he think?
This is how shit I thought that night was.
3. Yes, I was like, he went away and it's like not even a 1 star. Like that would have. And it wasn't even for me. It was for the Duke of York, so it doesn't.
Oh my God, doesn't understand much.
Doesn't linger on in my life. So it's like with student loans. Don't think about it.
I love that. That's his thing. Like anyone he gets, like, what do you earn? How much do you like? If the police pull him over for speeding, what do you earn? Love, that's not working.
That was
Shut up.
Yeah, and it was all it was. It was such like a dick measuring contest. It was a bit like.
My God.
But then I was like, I don't need to earn anything because my husband's rich.
I'm writing these down. I'm just gonna. That's what this is for, to steal your material.
Steal all my material. Take it. If it puts a cisgendered white straight man in his place.
That's what you're here for.
This is my gift to the world.
Brilliant. We were just talking before we started recording about commonalities, David.
Yes.
So we were talking about Gran Canaria.
Yes.
And I love to drop this into every There's very few people I know who don't know that I used to live there.
I did. I didn't. So I was new. I didn't know that.
I mention it a lot.
And how long ago was this?
Oh, geez, hang on now. I left in 2009. So
I left Madrid in 2007.
Right, okay. So we were there
clearly
sort
below,
of the
but
same.
We were paying into the Spanish tax system at a roughly
Well,
similar
not really,
ish.
but
Well, no, but not all of my money.
I mean, I was buying things when I was there. I don't know if I was paying the
Zapatero was the
government.
Prime Minister.
Zapatero, that's right.
He was the Prime Minister.
Doesn't that mean shoe? No?
A shoemaker.
Shoemaker. So what were you doing in Madrid?
I went over and I taught English to like businessmen and
Okay.
like women, people, business
Yes.
dames.
Were you teaching them all how to say, and what do you earn?
I was teaching them to say, when you're knocking, hombre. So there's a generation of like, you know, people in their maybe in their 50s and 60s now who speak English with a Lurgan accent. And I apologise.
I say the same because I was teaching, when I first went over, I was teaching music from like babies all the way up to GCSE. But none of them spoke English as their first language. So they were learning English at the same time as basically learning
amazing,
everything
though.
else. It was embarrassing as well. It was like 3-year-olds with better English than me, and I'd no Spanish whatsoever. So, but I had a class for 1 year. I was like a primary. I'm not primary teacher, but they gave me a class.
I wasn't trained. I went and just got a job and then winged it for like 3.5 years.
Just think about what people are paying for it.
I
Because I was in a private school. There were parents paying loads of money to send their kids to this school, and I was the primary teacher, and I was just like, I was reading the textbook a page ahead. I was like, turns out red is the primary colour. I was wrong. I was wrong, everybody. But
every day es un día escolar. Everybody is kids.
So did you speak Spanish before you went over? Are you a Spanish speaker?
Bit, and then I learned it over there. I got what we called a hot dictionary, which is a boyfriend who didn't speak English. So yes,
Brilliant.
I was the whole time I lived there. I had like that's one of the reasons I stayed there for so long. Is like I
met someone.
properly fell in love. And then and we broke up, and like it wasn't even like we hate each other, which made it worse.
Yeah, that is worse.
Do you know what I mean? It's like if I hated him, I'd
that's
be like,
harder to get past.
Fucking check, right? Get it all round, man.
Yeah.
But like you know what I mean. But no, it wasn't like that. I was heartbroken. And now I'm with my gorgeous husband.
Yes,
but,
it all worked out.
All worked out in the end. But yeah, I lived. So he'd hardly spoke any English, so we spoke Spanish in the house all the time.
Right.
So I was able to get my Spanish to quite a good level at the time.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I taught English too, and it was just weird, like wee things. Like I was always, I went into a thing that was called Vaughan Academy. This like Texan guy who went over to Spain, and he created this system.
Right.
What was this? I can't remember what his first name was. I've kind of blocked out
This
certain bits of
system
this.
sounds a bit like Scientology.
It's a way, but it was very
culty.
much like it was geared towards Spanish speakers and specific mistakes that Spanish people make. So Spanish people always say "people ease," because in Spanish, people is a singular thing.
Yes.
Whereas, but in the system, you would always have to go "people are."
Right.
People are,
yeah,
and you would be correcting them all the time, and I was getting fucking bored at it. But it was sometimes it was difficult because like you were dealing with kids who are like very receptive, to learning.
Yes.
Where sometimes I was dealing with people who were like the CEO of a company, and I was correcting their English, and I was like this like 25-year-old poof from Northern Ireland who was like going, okay, no. No, it just said like this. And I would be like, and this was one guy, he couldn't get his head round, I used to do something.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I usually do something now. He just couldn't get his head round it. And I was like, Carlos, well, let's take a break. But you know, so you're getting like a lot of aggravation from like,
from people who are used to being very much with the right answer and in charge, and that is
because
hard.
they have the right answer because theirs is the right answer. Yeah. So like they were very, but I loved it. I enjoyed. But as you said, like I was earning more money than I've ever earned in my life, and that was like nearly 20 years ago. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Never
like
got back
I was
there.
racing around Madrid thinking that I was.
Oh, it's a nice life though, isn't it? It's sort of,
loved
I
it.
felt like I was on holiday with a salary, to be honest with you. It was great. Now, we weren't paid that well, but the kids that I was teaching, their English was very good, but they would have those, even though they'd been learning it since birth, the same wee mistakes would become through. Like they used to, and it is really funny because they'd be like, I would take them into like the computer suite, and they'd be on their computers and they'd be going, Miss, my rat is not working. My rat isn't working. And you'd be like, oh, your mouse. Right,
Your
okay.
mouse,
like wee things like that. And then one time I was like, we're going to learn how to use email. Like they're all like 7 and 8. So I was like, can everybody just type in www.hotmail.com So loads of them typed in HOTMALE, right? And they were all like, Miss Teresa, what is this? I was like, should have spelt it out, maybe.
They're going home and they're like,
Hotmail.
so what did you do in class today with Miss Teresa? Well,
We drew pictures. Yes. Because no, I did have that actually.
oh my God.
There was one time when I was there, I was the only Irish teacher there. Loads of it was a British school, but obviously most people were either English or Scottish. But
Yeah.
So when it came to St. Patrick's Day, they'd be just like, okay, this is your culture. Off you go.
Go for
right?
it.
You're doing the assembly this month. So with the wee kids, I was like, right, we're gonna make shamrocks. All right, we're gonna draw them on cardboard and cut them out. Now, I'm not a primary teacher, and I can't do art for shit.
No,
so I
we're
turned around and I said, I'm gonna draw a shamrock on the board, and I turned around and just drew a large cock and balls. Right? And I was like, that's not a shamrock. I can't get the proportions right. So I was like, I'll try it again. And I drew another one. And they were all like, so I covered the board. I was just cock and balls. And
My daddy
like,
has one of them.
it is the hot male.
It is the hot male.
But they all, so anyway, I left most of them up.
God.
But like the principal came around and was just like, what's going on in here? And I was like, it's my culture.
Teresa, a word?
Teresa, outside.
Do you guys picture back here?
But I did, yeah. So
They're all going home, but they're taking like green cocks and balls out of their school bags. Aye.
El gonorrhea.
El gonorrhea.
But yes, no, it is. It's quite funny having all those kind of wee. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of kids now. If they were like 7 or 8 at the time, they're full adults now with bits of their education missing.
They're got to think. I think I said, do you remember that woman?
Remember that woman?
Did I dream that woman who came over and drew the cock and balls?
Just drew dicks everywhere.
Like, were we not 7?
I'm not okay.
I'm not
and
okay
yeah,
with that.
no, there was a lot of art happened that year because I just didn't know what else to do. Like I'm a music teacher, so
Yes.
there's only so much music you can do before you want to kill yourself.
Yeah,
so
and
you're
you're
just like, well, we're going to draw now, and they're like, again.
I had one guy who could never pronounce breakfast, and he called it breast fuck.
Oh my God!
Every
it's like a CEO. I think he knew what he was saying.
He knew he's been to Thailand. He's been to Thailand. That was a different menu. That was a different menu. But no, I really enjoyed it, and I loved Madrid, and it was an amazing city. If you've never been,
no.
it's such. Everybody goes on about Barcelona, but maybe because I lived in Madrid,
You really know it.
I loved it, and Alan and I went back recently. And like met up with friends, and it was like amazing to see what was the same and what was different, and and how because whenever I lived there, like a bar, like these like people who'd had a bar for 60 years since the times of Franco, like we're still owning these bars, and then you went in like now, like nearly 20 years later, and they've all had like a wee she facelift, and you go,
it's not the same.
It was better with the sawdust and peanut shells on the floor.
I know.
It was better.
Because we would have been in lots of wee bars like that. And because I lived in Las Palmas, which is the city.
Gorgeous.
On Gran Canaria. So
yes.
it is touristy, and it would have had a lot of, but it's nothing like going to one of the resorts down on the south of the island. Like
it's
the
a
Yumbo
more
Center.
authentic experience.
It
Yumbo
is.
Center. Remember that reference?
First time I went to the Yumbo Center, I was like, oh, how festive. And was in a club. This is what I was saying. Went into a club. We were just there we used to go down south for the weekends and just stay in a wee hotel and go out. And I was
about
in
an hour and a half drive.
not even,
It's
it's tiny. The place isn't that big at all. But and I was in the Yumbo Center one night in a club, and I was like, "There's no lights on in here. Where's the disco lights?" And asked somebody where the ladies' toilets were, and they're like, "No, love, no, there's no ladies in here.
No ladies.
It's not really the toilets either. If you want to go in and have a look," I was like, "I don't."
No, my friend,
But I had a great night.
I went the first time out with my husband, and I went like last year in September, and it was class, but like it was at 43. It was a very different holiday to 28.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It was very different.
Yes.
I was being married as opposed to being single. Let's just say I enjoyed myself at 28 at the Yumbo Center. Yeah. I saw the sights. And what sights I saw. But I went and
was it like my classroom board? Just
well, yes, because that's what I was saying to Luke. Like there was like this. Like I just needed to pay. Like listen. Each to his own, her own, their own. I am not going to yuck anyone's yums.
Yeah.
But anonymous sex with a faceless person in a dark room frightens me a wee bit. I feel there's something like I felt self-torture about that. Like, you know what I mean? But I love that for yous.
Yep.
Anybody who's watching that at the moment, you know what I mean? They're like polishing their ball gag, listening to Scundered.
I hope.
You know, we all do. We all have, your target demographic.
You're going to be ball gag here.
That kind of does. Look, they're pulling it. She's pulling it out.
Well, now I can't look at that in the same way.
But I was like, I need to pee. So I was like in all the stalls, no doors, not a door.
No.
Not a door. Nobody. You couldn't do your business in peace. So I could see all the doors on the thing, and it had, as I said, it had that lurid, like Borg matrix green lighting. Do you know yourself? Like as soon as if you see that green lighting in a movie, it's bad news.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. It is green for go, but go in the other direction. It's green for leave. Get out now. Do you know, like, and you're walking into the nightclub at the beginning of Blade, and instead of blood, it was jizz. It was all
lovely
coming out of the thing. So, but I went down into the thing. But I went down and I could see this one that looked like empty, and I was like, oh, right, I'll quickly go and pee.
Yeah.
So I went in, but just as I walked in, there was like a guy who was in the shadows, and I was like, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And like backed out.
I just want to pee.
Can I just pee? Can I just pee? So like during that holiday, at one point, like my friend just had to rap a door. She was just like, I'm not peeing in the street.
Yeah.
So she banged on this door, and the two guys' heads wrapped out. She says, lads, can you give me 2 minutes? 2 minutes to go in. I'm only gonna pee, and then you can go back in. And they were like, no problem, that's all right, love, that's okay. And they did, they gave her the 2 minutes. God bless them.
Yeah.
God bless them, because like,
share the space.
Do you know what I mean? Nobody enjoys a coitus interruptus, but do you know what I mean? They were very gracious about it. They were very gracious.
I love that she's like, it's just pee, I'll spray a bit of perfume
Yes,
I'll be out of your hair.
No number twos. Do you know what I mean? No number twos, although I'm thinking what those lads were doing.
Doesn't matter.
No. That was past that point. But it's a very, what would one say? Libertine.
Oh, the Yumbo Center?
So if you don't know what the Yumbo, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's this.
It's a big nightclub complex sort of thing, isn't it?
You had the Irish Centre, you had the English Centre, and then you had the Yumbo Center. And the Yumbo Center had like, and then there was one that kind of has, which I think it was maybe the one the English people would go to, but it had also like a huge like Scandinavian bit in it. You went in and all the restaurants were suddenly Scandinavian,
right?
And the people in it were Scandinavian. But
we just went to we thought the best music was the Yumbo Center,
oh, definitely.
So that's why we were like, we'll go there.
And it went on all night.
Yeah.
And then, but there are clubs that women are not allowed into.
Yeah,
which I always think about.
I understand that. Like, we can't have everything. Do you know what I mean?
And you just have like, so much.
Everything's for me. I'm in every space.
Yeah, women have so much.
No, I don't think that.
women
Look
dominate.
At me, the absolute anti-feminist. You can't have everything.
You can't have everything, women. Yes, I've got tampons. Shut up.
You've got your free period products now. What do you mean? No, what I mean is I understand if there needs to be a space where we don't have us white women going in like, looking for our sassy best friend.
But sometimes like your sassy gay friend is the guy that is the girl that helps you get the most lads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes they'll go, and they'll and then they'll go off and boogie off and my job done.
I love it. I mean, I've spent more nights out in the Kremlin than I have in any other, because there's no other good place to go. Well, there's Thompson's, I suppose, but that passed me by.
I don't know. I think recently, I definitely think Kremlin should put on a gay night.
They should, but that's what I mean. I'm really conscious of that, of being in the Kremlin and just people being like, oh, for fuck's sake.
No, I think.
Do you need everything? Do you need every space in Belfast?
I think the problem tends to be then whenever like they've got like loads of straight lads, because I think it's always been a safe space for women. So there's loads of straight guys going. Because they get on. Oh, there's girls go. So they're on to the sort of thing.
For God's sake, yes.
So then they go in, and anytime there's been a fight that I've seen in the Kremlin, again, I don't go as often as you. No, I don't get time to go out now. I gotta get home and I gotta give my cat its medication. But you don't go as much. But like anytime that I've ever seen a fight in the Kremlin, it's been because some straight guy has like felt uncomfortable.
Done something.
They've just gone in. They've breathed.
Yeah.
Because I remember being in there, and yes, okay. Me and this this is before Alan. Me and this guy were giving each other a good old wench, which is a good Scottish words, Ulster Scots words for a kiss. We're wenching the face off each other, and this girl went up and went, "Could you stop doing that? That's disgusting." And I was like, "You're in ours."
What?
And I did. I was like, this over his shoulder. Us as our space, bitch. If you're uncomfortable, fucking get to stepping. If you don't like it.
Oh my God.
So, but I was thinking, this is
Yeah. But you see, this brings me back to like, we can't have everything. So it's yeah, get out.
Yeah.
But in all other senses, give women everything. Just
give them. But even like I think as well, because there's loads of spaces for, like trans men, trans women, and and cis women, and queer women with a feminine experience, one might say, or queer people with a feminine experience, and like I wouldn't not that I wouldn't be welcome. That's not the right way of saying it. It's not for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
As you say, not everything is for me.
Not everything's for you.
And
for you.
Okay.
Yeah. The person who thinks everything is for them.
See the person watching this right now and you're getting your bird in a blaze. Not everything's for you. All right? Have we think?
I just had another flashback to it wasn't the Yumbo Center, but it was down south in Gran Canaria. This is very embarrassing on me. I had a couple of summers before that, I'd gone to Japan to see a friend of mine who lived there.
Amazing.
Right? Had the best time.
Was it amazing? Was it amazing?
No, it actually was amazing. It was brilliant.
It's on the bucket list.
Yes. No, it was ages ago before it was cool.
Everybody's going now.
Everyone's going now. But anyway, I had a brilliant time, and but I never shut up about it. So I'd be telling people all the time, well, now I was in Japan. They're like, right.
Did you know that like Konnichiwa is pronounced slightly different in the prefecture?
The way you're saying it. Like I came back with like 3 phrases that I could say, and I was like fluent now. But anyway, quick fun fact. I think I've told Luke this before. In Terminator 2 in Spanish. So, like, what does the wee boy what does the wee boy teach the Terminator? What's the phrase he teaches? Oh, hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah.
Not in Spain. In Spain, he says, sayonara, baby.
Oh, really?
Fun fact. Because hasta la vista is just like,
see you later.
So if someone annoys you, say, see you later.
So not quite the same impact.
It doesn't have the same impact. So like they'll say, because we were talking about this and we were going, what's goodbye? Because at school I did like a Japanese course. Don't speak any Japanese.
No.
But I did a Japanese course so that I didn't have to do games. Gay.
That's why I had a choir when I was a teacher.
I don't want to have to do this shit. So like, and I was saying, like, how do you say? I can't remember how to say goodbye in Japanese, and the Spanish people going Terminator 2, and I was like, what are you talking about? And they were like, what does we boy say? And he was like, hasta la vista. And they were like, no, sayonara, baby.
That's so funny.
Cultural week, we tidbit phrase.
That's like if it was like a Northern Ireland version of the Terminator, just being like, I'm away on now.
You've shit yourself.
So
your ma's dead.
Your da sells Avon. No, hey, when I was in back to moi. In Gran Canaria, there was a whole load of us down south out for night. We hadn't yet gone to the Yumbo Center, but we were going out for dinner, and we were just walking around the restaurants, and we came across a Japanese restaurant, and I went, oh, let's go in here, and I became the tour guide, right? I was an insufferable bitch.
Could you hear all the eyes rolling? They're going, oh,
absolutely.
Fuck. Just let her have
They were
this.
like, oh, has she told you she's been to Japan? So
we're giving her one more week about this. We're letting her do this.
When she leaves, she'll just talk about Gran Canaria incessantly. So anyway, we all went it. So there was like 8 of us, right? And we got to the door, and it was all the traditional Japanese decor with the sliding like papery doors and everything. And at the door, there were all these shoes and slippers.
Oh.
And I said, oh, right, everyone listen up. You need to take off your shoes and you need to put on these slippers. This is part of the culture, right? And they were all like, all right, okay. So we all took off our shoes and we all started putting on these slippers, right? And then 2 people at the back were like, I don't have any slippers. And I was like, well, we'll just ask the waitress when we get in for more slippers, right? So all we traipsed in, and this lovely lady came to the door and brought us to our seats. And the seats in these Japanese restaurants, to give you the impression that you're sitting on the floor, which is the traditional way, they had like the floor cut out, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So you're sitting low, but your feet are actually dangling down so it's comfortable for Westerners to sit. Okay. So
our kinked cola hunts.
There was so 6 out of 8 of us are all sitting there wearing these slippers that didn't fit, right? And the waitress came over and we were like, oh, our table's a wee bit wobbly. And she went, I need to get under there and I'll fix it. So she crawled around underneath. There's my legs like swinging away, like the wee slipper only covered like my toe. It was so small, right? And she came back up and she fixed the table and I spent the evening going, now everyone, if you just follow me, you must use chopsticks. It's very, very insulting, right? Didn't realise like everyone who worked there was Chinese for a start. Nobody was Japanese. And I was like, you will insult their culture if you don't do it like this.
Konnichiwa.
Just Hi. Just saying hi. That's the only thing I remember. Ego ga daki miska. That's the only thing I remember.
Oh, what does that mean?
Do you speak English?
Oh, right.
So I used to say that all the time. And if they said no, I'd be like, no. That's all I can say. So, yes, the answer had to be, I'm away on.
I'm away on.
So, anyway, as we were leaving, we got up to leave, right? And I was like, that waitress isn't wearing any shoes, right? And I went out and I looked at another waitress go out and put her shoes at the front door and put her slippers on and leave. And I was like, we're wearing the staff slippers. So all the staff were walking around in their bare feet, and we had walked in there like the colonizers that we are. And we're like, we'll be taking these slippers now. So we were padding around the place in this waitress's shoes. And she'd seen it. She'd crawled under the table and been like, this bitch is sitting here waving my slippers in my own face.
These are well comfy. I can see. I can see why you do this.
I know. It's lovely.
I get this.
Can I have that top? It's really cute. Take your top off.
See your bulldog clip in your hair. I need to get my hair out of my eyes. Take some of that.
Like it really was. And it's the fact we didn't know until we were leaving and we could see the other staff and we were like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was lovely. She was like, no, it's fine. And I was like, I get that. Does that happen all the time? She went, no. No, it does not.
Actually, this is the first time this has ever happened, that someone has come in to eat and stolen our shoes.
But everyone with me was like, we will never listen to a word that comes out of your mouth. I go, you're probably right.
That's bridesmaids, isn't it? That's when she takes them to the Brazilian place and they all get diarrhea. Like you took them to the Japanese place and all have like secondhand
embarrassment.
Shame
Because
of like.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my God.
Tell me, make me feel better about myself, David. Do you have an embarrassing story?
An embarrassing story. So I was thinking about this, and like I am not easily embarrassed, really. Like I think, because like like we've talked about this, like my daytime job, I am a person who works with people with learning disabilities, and like sometimes behavior can be unpredictable if you're in public, and if you have that sense of shame or that sense of embarrassment, like you can't. You
don't have time for it, basically.
I don't have time for embarrassment, generally. And being like a 6'3", very visible homosexual, you get used to the fact that people are talking about you in Lurgan very quickly. So I don't get embarrassed very easily. But there's just like it's situations where you go, oh, I wish that hadn't happened.
It stays with you.
So Alan and I went to Berlin. Like Alan and I, one of the good things about being seen as a deviant by the DUP government is that you're not allowed to have children, and so that frees us up for travel. Which I feel,
Thank you, DUP.
Who needs them? Because you know what I mean. But anyway, so we were in Berlin. That was great, and most hotels that I have been in who give you like room service is like you'll go and you'll hear a rap on the door and you'll get like a pizza shoved at you from outside and then you go away and sit down again. So Al and I were in Berlin, and Berlin to me is a very mysterious city because it doesn't feel like one city. It feels like loads of wee towns cobbled together.
I've never been. I'd love to go.
I want to go back, and I would like to get that person who's like comes and has lunch with you and talks you around, one of like a local guide, and like just for you. I would love to do that because there's so many great things about it. But it was nighttime. I couldn't find a chip. Couldn't even get a fucking Chinese. No money. 3
stars.
3 stars. I hated it. 3 stars, but don't want to hurt your feelings. Because I'm from Northern Ireland, and that's not
We're very polite.
That's not how we do things. So we were in the hotel room anyway, and I was like, I'm starving. I can't find something to eat. And I says, listen, the night, like we'll for tomorrow, we'll look ahead. We'll see if we can find somewhere. But let's get room service. So Alan's laying in bed. Like he's had his shower or whatever, laying in bed, not a stitch on him. Okay. I'm walking about in my wee pants, because we're getting ready for bed, and so we're getting the food, and so the door raps, and I went to the door like this here. No, I was expecting,
someone just
no, it was like the trolley and all. Oh. So I opened the door and the guy came in, but what I didn't realize is so I'm standing in my pants, he's naked, like like Hollywood, the L-shaped. Sheet where like the man's like this but the woman's like this. So he's like the wee fella comes in, but again that was like But like on the TV was like, we weren't even really paying attention to the TV.
Yeah.
But it was like for like German sex lines.
Oh no.
And there was like a woman, do you know what I mean, like licking her tit going, call me, ruf mich an. And he's all like, she's licking like, you know, and it's all like, you know, Jolie, so like, and it's all ditties and boobies and us and, like, and two men who are obviously sleeping in the same bed naked together. And they
peckish.
And just, you know what I mean? This has knackered me out watching these. You not believe the phone bill I've rung up, phoning your woman there, do you know what I mean? And it was just like, do you know one of those moments where like everybody's trying to pretend it's not happening?
Yes.
So I was just, we were like, oh well.
Oh God.
He's took the cloches off and all, here we go. and we were all,
it's beautiful. Please get out.
Danke schön, danke.
Oh
Vielen
no.
Dank. And they were like, enjoy, you know, guten Appetit. And they said, backwards rolled his wee trolley out of the room again. And they were like, that's great, that's lovely. Thanks.
Just dying.
It was fucking awful. Do you know, but it was just like,
yeah.
do you know, like it's about everybody, it's, you know, like you've stepped in shite, and we all know we've stepped in shite.
But nobody wants to
we're not going to address it.
You see, two things about that. That's for sure not the worst thing that man has had to walk in on.
No.
For sure. That's like that's just a
100%.
Tuesday for him.
Yes, he's had to cut a guy down from like an auto asphyxiation thing and saved his life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And still not be tipped.
It's a bit like, mate.
Yeah. Come on.
Sergio Davidson has like a really great joke about that. There was like, get a spotter. She's like, just get a spotter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
stop doing it by accident.
If your mate's a wee bit quiet, just go, you all right? I'll come in, I'll cut you down. You know what I mean? Or get one of them. You remember them wee wasp belts that you had whenever you were away? Like the wee ones that, like, instead of having a buckle, it went like that.
Oh yeah.
You could use one of them
An
belts.
emergency release.
Yes. Just in case you're like, oh fuck, this is getting too real. I'm just thinking.
I think, you see, if that had happened to me, I would have made that a million times worse by trying to explain. I would have sort of gone, I'm sorry about this. You see this? And made sure everybody saw the TV by accident.
Pointing at her nipple. See right here.
Trying to cover up the nipples. Just you put the pizza there, thank you. It hasn't happened to me, but this isn't embarrassing on Fraser's part, but it is a funny story, so I'm going to tell it. When we were in
This is what you signed up for, Fraser. This is it. Your embarrassing stories are not Teresa's embarrassing stories.
Well, it's kind of both of us. We were in Glasgow last year. I was doing the Glasgow Comedy Festival. I was trying to set up, I was going to try and film it, right? So we'd brought a tripod, and I'd only just bought it on Amazon and brought it with me. So during the day, we were in the room in the Premier Inn, and I was trying to set up this camera to see like how far away I would need to put it and everything, right? And I had it all set up, and I was going to Fraser, right, so I'll probably put it there in the room, and if we just do a wee quick test, yes, that's got me in shot, right, fine. And then, so this was like early in the afternoon, I said, right, I'm going to go out for a walk and just have a coffee and whatever. And Fraser's like, yeah, I'm quite tired, I'm just going to have a nap. So off I went. Fraser went to bed, and it was only when I came back like 3 hours later, I came in and he was just like, so housekeeping came.
Oh.
And they didn't knock, they just walked in.
Shit.
And there was Fraser lying in bed with a camera on a tripod just pointing at him, and she was really like, sir, I am so sorry. And he's like, no, come on in.
No.
You're fine, I'll just go.
The crew's taking a break.
Just left.
And the model was peckish. So she's just like, if you want to stay and like you get a bit behind the scenes.
I love the less that it's explained, I think the funnier it is, because Fraser was really like, no, sorry, it's fine. I'll just leave the room and you can do whatever you need to.
It's okay.
She's like, no, please, I'll come back later.
Or smile as if like, this is normal.
Yes.
This is fine.
But he said, oh, sorry, or said something like, my wife will be back in a bit, or something like that.
Like that, that justified it?
Yeah.
My wife will be back in a bit.
She's out for a coffee. She's going out for a wee coffee. But anyway, that's not embarrassing for Fraser, I don't think. Is it?
No, I don't. I would be more embarrassed as the housekeeping. I would be a bit like, number one, knock, bitch.
I know.
Knock, you don't know. This is a Premier Inn. Chosen,
you don't know what's going on
chosen
here.
Not only for its discretion, but for its affordability. So do not.
You've got to knock.
You've got to knock. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to ask you, David, some would you rathers, because actually it just reminded me of, because I've asked people a few times, would you rather accidentally walk in on somebody on the toilet or be walked in on? I've asked
I would
it
say
now.
walk in. I am not a public pooer. I don't like it.
Well, who is? Jesus
but do
Christ.
People who have no problem, like just like pooing, or people who poo with the door open.
Yeah,
and you're like, no, it's like you gotta leave a wee bit of mystery. You gotta leave a bit of if you're like Alan.
This is the secret of a long marriage.
Alan has never shared the bathroom while I'm doing a wee number two. And
No,
neither vice
God,
versa.
no.
But there's these married couples
I know
and they're
there's
like, I
people who
walk
do
in
that,
and out.
no.
And I'm like, no, like, you know,
No.
you know, like rimming's off the menu if you do that.
That's not the only reason I'm against it, but yeah,
just
sure.
thinking about like, you know, and then you've got the thing, but like I would rather be, because I like so a gay traveling story. We went to New York City and Alan like got this like you can go to the Statue of Liberty, but to get up into the tiara, it's like you put your name in and it's like a lottery, and then you can then buy tickets. So Alan put my first time when I cried. I was like a fucking pure. Whenever I came in the plane, and whenever I came in on the plane and saw the Statue of Liberty, I started crying. I was like, "Oh my God," because I just really wanted to go forever. So we went up into the thing, and as we came down, like the height of it, I'm 6'3", nearly 6'4". God made me tall enough. I don't need to be any higher.
Yeah.
And so the whole fear of it went straight to my stomach, and I came down. I said, "Right, I need to use the loo." So, have you ever been in an American public restroom?
Yeah.
Like through the door,
they're not the doors have big cracks, and you can see through them.
And the door itself was like only maybe like about like a meter squared, like so it was just really tiny door. So you're seeing like sometimes you'll go in and you can maybe see people's feet. You're seeing full on knee. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, and then on top of heads. So you had to go in, and I was like, oh my, this is my nightmare. I don't want to shake in front of people. And it was
people can see your face.
Because like people so I was like, right, I'm in New York. I'm never going to meet these people ever again. I'm never going to meet these people again. And I went in and like did that thing where like, and it was a rowdy one. Like, it was rowdy.
Pretend it's somebody next.
I like try to flush the loo while I like going, no time my.
Try and time it.
Time my sphincter with the door. Time my sphincter with the flush. I go,
yes.
Like, and relax. You know what I mean?
Just make the sound of a flush.
Release. Just like trying to make noise. And then do the double flush or do the the toilet roll.
Yes.
Cradle.
Yes.
So it's going in and it's not plopping into the water.
Well, can everyone see your head?
They could see like this much of my head.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you meant like your neck and head were above and you're sort of like.
I was here. It was like, it was about this. It was enough for people to sort of go, oh, are you all right? Do you know
that's David.
That's David there. David Doherty-Jebb. Yes, I've seen this. I was like, what? You recognise me?
My most vulnerable.
No. It was awful. It was so yes, I would much rather walk in and apologise.
Yes.
Than be walked in upon, because like then you're stuck.
I know.
What are you going to do?
For some reason, there's something wrong with me. I think I'd rather it the other way around, because
really?
I sort of make it like they've done it on purpose. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I remember Ellen DeGeneres, years ago, Ellen DeGeneres, before everybody hated her, did this joke where it was a bit like, walking in on somebody and like your first instinct is to go, it's fine. And she's like, come on, everybody. She says it's okay. She says it's fine. It's okay.
No, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Go on ahead.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to ask you another one. Would you rather accidentally fart loudly during a job interview or accidentally spill coffee on the interviewer's lap?
Oh, I think I would rather accidentally, even thinking about it, I'd rather spill coffee.
Yeah.
I'd rather spill coffee. And I think it's linked to that.
The toilet thing. Why are these all toilet based? I'm very sorry.
The admission of bowels in front of strangers. Like,
but maybe you could pretend it wasn't you. Like the spilling the coffee on. Yeah. Yeah. You can't avoid the fact that you've thrown hot coffee in somebody's lap.
When I was a waiter, when I was at university, I worked at a Hilton, and I went to uni in Stirling, and there was like in Dunblane, just like about half an hour outside, there was a Hilton at the time, and I remember I was like pouring coffees out, like into the table, and but I was like coffee in one hand, tea in the other hand, and pouring them. But one woman, while I was pouring like the tea into her cup, this hand went like this here, and then I poured boiling coffee right up her arm.
Oh, Jesus.
And she was wearing this sheer. I remember I can see her in my face, and I can see her face went like this. Like she didn't even squeal or anything. She was just shocked. Like the pain must have gone past.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am so sorry. So like I feel like I am psychologically prepared for throwing coffee around somebody.
Yes. In fact, you like to do it.
In fact, I go out of my way. If you see me in the queue at Nero, leave. So I'm going to ask for an extra hot triple shot Americano and fuck it round you.
I've had some bad interviews in my time, but I think one of the most embarrassing ones was when I didn't lie in the interview, but I'd written something on my application form that was maybe a little bit embellished, right? And it wasn't even something that mattered. This was like this was maybe the second job interview I'd gone for as a teacher, right? And to try and make myself, because it was all music, and I was like, because typically people want teachers that can do lots of different things as well, like take the after school clubs and all that.
Our music teacher, I think in art school, our music teacher, one of them taught English and one of them taught French. And one of them did RE.
Oh yeah, but most people aren't teaching what they're actually qualified to teach.
No.
But so I'd written somewhere in my application form for no reason that I played golf, and I do not, right? And I don't even know what criteria I was trying to meet. I was sort of like, I am a very interesting person. Because I was like, not only do I play music.
You and I are of a similar generation, and I think you cannot underestimate the pressure of the National Record of Achievement as you went into your...
With it tucked under my arm. They're like, put it away.
The wee burgundy folder.
Nobody's going to look at that.
And you felt as though you needed to go, right, I need to feel sporty.
You need to be a well-rounded individual. So What
would be like realistic?
Do you know where it came from? It was rooted in some truth. Around that time, my little brother Peter was really into going to the, we'd take him to the driving range to hit golf balls.
Yes.
So I'd taken him a few times and I was like, I'm a golfer now. So I just put it in there, I play golf. So anyway, did the interview. It was with loads of people. Like there was the biggest number of people had seen it in an interview. It was crazy. And I was right at the other end of this big long table. And the interview had gone fine. And the principal then said to me, just as I was standing up to go, and he went, thank you so much for coming in. And, oh, I see you're a golfer. What's your handicap? And I was just stood at the end of this table, because I don't even know how to lie about that.
I don't think you're allowed to use that term anymore.
Yes. And I just went, 3, right?
Oh my God.
And they all went, what? And I went, is that good? And I went, 10. And then I just went, I actually don't play golf. And it all came spilling out. Like I was leaving the interview and I had to stand there and do this big thing about like, I don't play golf. I'm so sorry. I think I just, I felt like I really needed to show something. They were just like...
Do you like the wee boy in Goonies? He's like, one time I pushed my sister down the stairs and I blamed my sister.
It just all came spilling out. Like they were basically leading me away from the room as I was still talking. I was like, I also like to, I read a lot and, oh my God.
And I give to communities.
Yes.
I'm very worried about the Dolphins.
It's even like if I had said I play any other sport, I probably could have lied about it, but it was so specific. What's your handicap? And I was like, huh? I don't know how to lie about it. But anyway, I got offered the job.
I was going to say, did you get you got the job?
I didn't take it.
Did you not take it? Feel like I can't face these people.
I can't work here.
Every
I know I'm a liar.
Every time they look at her, she's like, she said on her application that she could play golf, and I was really looking forward to that because I thought that I would maybe have, because nobody else plays golf.
It's a big golfing school.
It's a big golfing school. I had a job interview in Madrid for an in-house English language teacher, which was like the gold.
That was gold.
Because it was like you knew you were going to get jobs.
Employed.
You were going to be employed. You didn't have to like hustle to find different places. So I got this job, and it was like they put us in a wee room, and the way the interview kind of went is like the girl came in and everybody just spoke English to one another, but everybody else was Spanish, and this guy was waiting. We were waiting for the girl to come in, and I ended up being quite good friends with the girl who was the interviewer afterwards, but. Before she came in, one of the guys turned around and says to me, so like, how's your English? And I was like,
it's all right.
It's, yeah, I'm from Northern Ireland. That's my first language. I am so sorry you're here. Because I knew I had the job. The thing was I had the job because my friend worked there already, and they're like, this is what we're looking for this, and I knew I was going to get the job, so I felt like an absolute
Did you not feel
dickhead.
tempted to pretend that it wasn't your first language? And
well,
sort of
I was really like, because we were speaking Spanish, I was delighted that they didn't think I was from. I was delighted. I was like, oh, did you not think?
Yeah. I have definitely got this job.
Did I think that I sound Spanish? That's
amazing.
I
know that would be a real compliment.
I was like, do you know what I mean? So it was like, yeah.
No one ever thought I was Spanish.
But you get into the conversation a wee bit, and then I'll be, because I lived in Madrid, and they're very, do you know what I mean? They're when I got there, was Gran Canarias, they're not.
They're more.
And I find it easier because they speak very slowly. in the
Oh,
Canaries.
do you think?
They're very
Right,
much
okay.
easier, like to compare to a person from like the south of Spain or Madrid.
Okay.
They speak like
Is it like Donegal?
yes,
Yes. It is the Donegal of Spain.
It is very much
Yeah.
Donegal of Spain because there is that gay centre in the middle of Donegal. It's just a field and the guards keep raiding it. But it's very, very
But you can
similar.
find me there performing at weekends, yes.
Doing my Bette Midler.
Oh, Bette Midler.
I love Bette Midler.
I know. Well, I can't remember if we said this on or off whenever we were recording, but yes, that's who I wanted to be when I was growing up. I thought she was the most beautiful, talented,
funny.
Oh,
She and Whoopi Goldberg were the reason that I kind of loved making people laugh because I used to watch their movies over and over again and do their scenes.
Yeah, me too.
And then because Big Business.
Yep.
Outrageous Fortune.
Yep.
Ruthless People. Beaches, where we are. Yes, that's the biggest.
Because
I'm going to a CC Bloom concert.
I know. Hit it, toots. Because she.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired, Cece. You're always too much for me.
You're too much for your father.
You're too much for your
I love. We have seen Beaches more than anything, and because it portrayed her as a kid as well. I was about that age. That was Blossom. Mayim Bialik. Yeah. And I wanted to be able to sing that song. It turns out that wasn't her singing. That wasn't Blossom's real voice. Would you believe it? It was dubbed. I don't know who it was.
She my fair lady that shit.
Yes.
I
don't know.
rage. I didn't. Teresa.
Didn't know that. No, I only found that out recently because I loved that part where she got up and did the Glory of Love and everything.
What did you call the wee girl who did the?
Oh, Iris Fan. No,
the freak.
The hand walking freak.
The hand walking freak.
Hand walking freak. Yeah. Anyway,
let's
just go and watch Beaches.
Let's just go watch it. But in our house, yes, I love Beaches, but it was Big Business, and I would have done Big Business over and over and over. The meeting. What meeting?
Yeah.
I'm watching you.
There's something about her mannerisms and everything. She's just funny. Even if she's saying something that isn't that funny, it's just funny.
That was my, because I would have like watched that. So imagine like what age? So I'll be 45 in November.
I thought you were way younger than me. No, now it's your turn to say that I look younger than you.
What age are you?
I'm 46.
Are you? So like
yes.
So
we are practically the same. Yeah.
Yes. So we're practically
same
if you
generation.
Like if we had
I was
whatever
young
the
for
school
my year
years.
at school.
Are you like May, June,
July?
So oh God, June, July. So like you were 4 and then you started school in September.
Yeah, I was too young. I was a genius.
You were a genius. But I think this is like it going off, but like I think in our time, how many people in your school, like how many in your year did like 2 P1s or 2 P7s? I think that's when they changed the rules.
Oh, I can't even remember. I know I could have. I think my mother wanted me out of the house because I think they were like, she could wait another year. No,
were you
she
like
can't.
me, where it was
Go
a bit
to
like,
school.
I can't, there's only so many times I can watch her do this piece in front of the mantelpiece in the house. Yeah. I need to send her. I need a break from
Look at me. Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, so yes, so bring it back to what I was saying. I think we're like that same sort of era where like VHS.
Yes.
Rewind, watch it again.
And watch the same films over and over again.
Or even the same scene to sort of get I would have watched it to get the cadence that she was doing it in, and I would have like watched it, or like, Jumping Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg.
Now I don't know that one as well.
So I would have watched that over and over and over again, and it was like, but like I do. There's a scene in it where she's dressed up like Tina Turner to like break into a British embassy, and the guy goes, "Are you on the invite list?" And she goes, "I'm the entertainment." And I have said that now in my adult life, where like you go up to a gig and they're like, "Joe, have you got a ticket?" And you go, "I'm the entertainment." And I go, and then you go up there and I'm like,
"This is my ticket.
This is my ID, motherfucker." But I'll just go, "I'm the entertainment." And that's that bit where she goes, "I can't hurry, love," and she breaks in, and then like the dress gets caught in the shredder and all. Like that, I like watch that over and over again.
You've gone somewhere. You're reliving the film. Okay, well now I'm just going to go and rewatch all these Bette Midler films now. I love it. We'll start the Bette Midler fan club in Northern Ireland. I don't know if there is one.
Maybe that could be our. Maybe we should do a double act and we just call it. Remember in the 80s?
Both dressed as Bette Midler.
Both dressed as Bette Midler. You could be Beaches Bette Midler, and I could be Big Business Bette Midler in the pink dotty suit.
Yes.
And we could call it. We could just call ourselves, because you remember whenever Julian Clary first came out, his stage name was the Joan Collins fan club with Fanny the Wonder Dog. We could just be we could be the Bette Midler fan club.
Yeah. There must be a snappy title. We'll work on it. We'll workshop it. Take this
bitches.
Bitches in heat.
Bitches in heat.
Okay. David, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
You'll have to come back and tell me more stories at some point. Go and find David online. Go and watch him host something. He's phenomenal. He's brilliant.
You so much.
And you'll be at Lurgan Pride in a couple of weeks.
I have been to Lurgan Pride. So Lurgan Pride is happening, but I'll be at Fermanagh Pride in... I think 2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks. Oh,
2
this
weeks
might
from here.
Will this be out? I don't know if this will be out by then. Go back in time and see him. He's brilliant.
Back in time and see it, yeah. And yeah, it's been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really love this.